Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. And as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. It's a Wellness Wednesday, so that means that we are going to be dealing with a matter of importance to your health. Let me just try to adjust this camera. Okay, that's a little better. We're going to be dealing with a matter of importance to your health today. So this is an opportunity for you to learn about something that will help you to maintain a healthier lifestyle. And we're also expecting a sponsor to come into the studio at some point. So as I think we'll reserve that sponsor slot until the end of the show, because he was supposed to be here for the beginning of the show, but he's not here as yet. So we're going to have to hold off on bringing him into the studio until we get to the end of the show. Okay, so we are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm page, as well as the official Global 99.5 FM Facebook page. You can call us at 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages or calls is 8010271, 8010271. So today is Wellness Wednesday, and you know what happens on Wellness Wednesday. If you're a regular around here, we're going to be dealing with a matter that is of importance to your health. And today, you guys often hear me talk about the importance of nutrients and why it's important that you get all of the nutrition that your body needs, because at the center of many of the non-communicable chronic diseases that we are facing is a problem of malnutrition, not being adequately, not receiving the adequate amounts of nutrients that your body needs. And the body, as you would have heard me say time and time again, is like a smart healing machine, a computer per se, that is constantly scanning, looking for these 90 essential nutrients that it needs to operate. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. I'm being advised that my guest is here, but we're going to have to take a break to set up the camera. So let's take a quick break and then set up the camera so that he can get into the studio. We'll start with him first, and then we will go on to talk about what we're dealing with today on Wellness Wednesday. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And
we are back. Welcome back to GPS.
Shift on Global 9.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here in your company. And we do have a guest in studio today. And this is a sponsored segment. And he is going to tell us a little bit about the work that he does, plus a major event that they have coming up that will give us a little bit more information. So I want you to talk right into that microphone for me, please, and go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience today.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Wilfred Smith, president of WMS Holdings Limited, and we're having an energy expo under the theme Best Energy Bahamas Expo 2023. at Super Club Breezes from 9 a.m. To 5 p.m., but it ends at 6 p.m. We're going to be mixing and mingling and getting to know each other a little bit better after the conference. That's the initial thrust of this presentation or information today.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
So we have been working for the past 15 plus years in the energy space, and we have successfully, through God's help, brought together firms in the international space, the United States, Asia, Europe, with experience around the world in the energy sector, which I'll share with you in a minute, the areas that we are focused on. We're bringing together engineers, presidents, vice presidents from these companies. We've also invited the business community from the Bahamas. We have one or two international persons coming as well. We've invited the church, civil society, several non-government organizations, SVDC, AWACX, and several other companies that provide funding or financing for the various solutions that we're going to be offering, which I'll share with you in a minute.
Okay, so let's talk about those solutions.
So energy is the lifeblood of any country. It impacts the cost of living, the cost of doing business. It impacts the car you buy, where your children go to school. It makes determination as even where you live. Energy does that. So any country, when it comes to energy, spends a tremendous amount of their precious resources on importing energy. The Bahamas, like most Caribbean countries, spend, in some instances, some Caribbean countries spend as much as 20% of their gross domestic products importing energy. And the bad part about that is we and they are importing the most toxic, harmful type of energy for our power generation to run our economies. But we have solutions that will change that in the immediate, medium, and long term. And what are those solutions? So before I give you those solutions, it's important for your audience, who I know is a well-informed audience, to appreciate the data, the research, the information, the independent verifications of companies that will corroborate and collaborate that what we are presenting is right on.
Right.
Because we believe nothing but the best is for Bahamians. You know, there's some good solutions out there, and there's some better, but we've gone around the world, and we believe we found the best. And we're going to present some corroborating, independent information that verify that is exactly what we're going to be presenting. We've been working behind the scenes with successive governments of the Bahamas, presenting these different solutions. So we are now actively engaging the private sector, the public sector, the NGO and church, because no matter what we do, we have to be united in what we do. We can have our different political views going up to election and right up to election, and whoever win, whether we vote for them or not, they represent the majority of the Bahamian people. At that time, if we want to build the greatest nation on earth, we have to come together. Our religion could be different, our politics could be different, our socio-economic status in this country could be different, but on some things we need to unite. And if we unite on energy, tremendous opportunities and achievements will flow. So can I go into this information?
Please.
So basically, I make a statement, and I say, first of all, our competitors from their point of view, or anybody that's in this space, they're selling fuel and power generation. God has blessed us and brought some people our way that allow us to not only just do that and more, but our goal is we building the greatest nation on earth. I didn't say the greatest little nation. I said the greatest nation on earth.
Right.
And our mandate is to do that first and foremost through this sector or through this area. So the first document that I'm showing here that Ms. Malcolm could confirm is from an organization called SIDDOCS. SIDDOCS is an independent organization established under the CARICOM government, of which the Bahamas government is a signatory. And they was established under the auspices of the United Nations. And their mandate was to go around the world and find the best energy solutions for SIDS, Small Island Developing States, or LDS. And they have documented who those organizations are, at least two of them. They're going to be at our conference.
Okay.
I don't have much time, so I'm going to go through this quickly. We have a report here by a doctor who happens to be the Secretary General of that organization called SIDDOCS. And he says in his report, the Caribbean spends $40 billion importing ADO and HFO. HFO and ADO is what BPL, Grand Bahama Power, and the Caribbean uses. In his report, he says there's technology solutions available that could reduce that. This isn't my information. This is his information. He's a doctor with several doctor's degrees, by 50%.
Right.
Now let's put that in perspective for the Bahamas. We import fuel totally, and it goes up and down. I'm going pre COVID-19 or pre-pandemic. Sometimes our import of fuel got as high as 800 million. If the doctor's right, and I believe he is, because independent multinational firms confirm it, he's saying 50%. Some say 30, some say 40%. However you cut that, that's 100, 200, 300 million dollars under the right scenario.
Right.
I have a quick report here from the IDB. I'm going fast because of time.
Understood.
This is
You see that camera right over there? That's the camera that you're on. So you can turn the book towards that so they can see.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead as you speak.
Yes. Yeah. So this is a document from the IDB that says how to save $36 billion worth of electricity. And this document was prepared, or this report was prepared for the Bahamas, Central America, and South America, telling the best, lowest hanging fruit, least investment way to fix our energy problem. And they say energy conservation and energy savings is the first thing any country on the right path ought to do. Before you spend $100 million or $200 million or $400 million, fix your energy conservation. We're going to be presenting at the shows best-in-class, world-class solutions that guarantee to save anywhere from 10 to 40% on the energy conservation side, which is the first step. We have a saying in the office that says, reduce before you produce. Before you put solar, before you do wind, before you fix your power utility generation, reduce inside your office, your lighting, your air conditioning, your refrigeration, your AC motors, and all the things on the inside. This is a document that we have called the National Policy for the Adaptation of Climate Change. We signed in 2005.
Hold on the other side of the microphone.
This side? Oh,
yes,
sorry, yes,
so they can see. Right.
Yes.
There you go.
So this is a document that the government of the Bahamas signed in 2005 for the adaptation of climate change and ratified thereafter. We haven't done the things in that document. It's a nice, pretty document.
Why do you think it is that successive governments have failed to implement some of the obvious suggestions that would make it better for us as far as energy is concerned?
I could see you trying to get me in trouble with that question.
No, you could be as diplomatic as you.
I'm just kidding. I
mean, that's why you have this conference, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So why? So the first thing, so you say be diplomatic. So let me start there.
Hey, listen, that's on you.
I know. The first thing is information. If you don't know, you don't know. Now remember, the seminar, the conference is for everybody. Government, business, average consumer.
Right.
The first thing is information. When I give you the information and I provide the data and the support to back up that information, now you have to make a decision with that. But when we're talking in the political realm, politicians, governments do what their people require or demand of them to do. So this is the diplomatic response.
Right.
I could give you off the air my reasons, but politically, think about it. If you and I are the only two citizens in this country, and your producer is our leader, and we say to him, we want Coke, not ginger ale today, what do you think he's going to bring? Coke.
Of course.
Now, if you and I know, if he takes advantage of that and don't do what he's supposed to do, that on you and I. Now, I don't mean make it simplistic, but you know what? We're going to share with the government officials, the Bahamian people, the business community, the NGOs that we have solutions, and now you know. Now, once they know you know what's out there, fully funded, Bahamians could have ownership in it, we could export. At the seminar, we're going to be showing the potential to export. In fact, my topic is the Bahamas a clean energy exporter?
Okay.
And I'm bringing those persons that will make that happen for the Bahamas. So we have here the speech from the throne of the government of the Bahamas. We meet but exceed everything in this document that the government speaks about as it relates to energy. So for fitting tribute to the 50th anniversary of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, we will expose the possibility for true energy, food, and water security. We're going to be unveiling some things that will make the world stand up and listen and look at what it is the Bahamas is saying, because what we do here, we're going to export to the Caribbean, and with the backing of our American and Asian European partners, where they do not now operate, because there's some of them all around the world, through our Bahamian company, we're going to make this happen for all Bahamians who will have an opportunity to participate.
Okay. And how will that participation be open to Bahamians?
So what we're going to do is we're going to make ownership shares available to all Bahamians.
Okay.
But we come in with something different. Traditionally, you could have the best idea or the best opportunity, but if persons don't have the money to participate in
Right.
it, like most things happen in this country,
Right.
they're locked out. They're not allowed
Only
to
the rich are
participate.
able to take
Yes,
advantage.
or middle class, or those with information. So
Right.
here's what. If you have a BPL bill and you're paying your BPL bill,
Mhm.
if we put our solutions in your place and we reduce your bill by 10 to 40%, that's money you would have expended to BPL, which they would have sent to the oil company. None of us benefits from that.
Mhm.
We're going to find creative ways as best we can, thinking outside of the barrel, not the box, to make sure every Bahamian that wants to participate. So this is not just for the rich. The rich will get richer, because we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar a year industry,
Mhm.
billions of dollars in the Bahamas that a select few have been enjoying.
Right.
We're opening that up now for all the Bahamians. We have 2 National Energy Committee reports that told us exactly what to do. We have a document from an organization called Fitchner Engineering, which the government of the Bahamas hired to come in and do an analysis and do a study and tell us what's the best energy solution for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as an island-based nation.
Mhm.
All of the things that they recommend in here, we have the companies that make it happen immediate, medium, and long term.
Mhm. And all of them will be present at this.
All of them will be present, and one of them will be presenting via Zoom because he's working
Okay.
on a major contract outside the country.
Okay. Okay.
The last document I have here before you is a document here from an MIT student that did an analysis, and that analysis was to find, again, the best energy solutions for small island developing states, less developed state. Guess where you think he did his doctoral thesis on? What country?
Well, you here, so I
The
know you only
Bahamas.
here to promote no other country. So
The Bahamas.
Of course.
The Bahamas.
Yeah.
And all the solutions that the MIT students has put together, the companies that provide those solutions will be presenting at the expo on Friday.
What do you hope to achieve through this expo? What is the end game?
So the end game here is to make the government of the Bahamas share with the business community and share with the wider community that we are in control. We do have solutions. We don't have to be as impacted as we are as it relates to the war in Ukraine, whether a war happens in the Middle East, or whether the world, we don't have to be as helpless.
Mhm.
We do have control. Our governments have access to solutions. We're going to provide some of those solutions. So the aim here is to educate, inform, but to do something different, act.
Okay, so are the powers that be in this country expected to attend this conference? Have they been invited? Have they said whether or
Yes.
not they'll be there? Or
Yes, the powers, you cannot do you ought not to do anything in the country without formally inviting the powers that be.
right?
We have done that, and we've gotten confirmation that they will be here. We're just waiting
Good.
on the final 1 or 2 to confirm yea or nay, but yes, that will happen.
So tell us more about the conference itself. You told us who will be there.
Mhm.
What are some of the topics that you'll be discussing, and how can the general Bahamian who's interested in learning more about this participate? Is there a registration, a cost,
so-
etc.? Give us the details.
So basically, anybody requiring information beyond the show here, go to info@bestenergybahamas.com. That's info@bestenergybahamas.com.
Mhm.
I must confess, when we first planned this session, we had a targeted list of 50 targeted groups.
Mhm.
And we've gotten more than that. So what we have to do to accommodate the general public or the businesses that we hadn't reached out to, we're having a second show on April the 20th under the collaboration or working with the University of the Bahamas.
Okay.
So when you send in so what we're going to do for your show here, Michelle, I'm sorry, Miss Malcolm.
Michelle is fine.
Okay. If you have business persons, so I've got 2 seats set aside for persons that listen to your show.
Okay.
If you have business persons that are listening to your show and their BPL bill is over $5,000 a month, we want to reserve 2 seats for them at this session.
Mm.
In the other session, Anybody that's interested, be that government official, be that consumer, whether that be business, small, big, or large, they're invited to the second session. I'm happy to say at this session, we've got hotels, we've got hospitals, we've got large manufacturing, we've got large businesses, we've got, and I've given you the other persons that are there.
Right.
So we want to not just inform, we're going to provide solutions. We have immediate, medium, and long term for us to follow the government of the Bahamas, and in some instances, lead the way forward for this energy, for the Bahamian people, with the best solutions. Solar is good. There's some things that are better, and there's some things that's best. We sell solar as well, so my solar people don't call me and beat me up on this, because I prefer solar and wind over HFO and ADO any day. And you know, we've had 4 prime ministers that went to the United Nations and said how the harms and the dangers, rightfully so, of CO2 and bad fuel use. 4.
But yet,
I haven't heard, and I'm hoping Prime Minister Davis does this. This is just my statement. Declare war on fossil fuel and continue to take the leadership role he's taking. What we want to do is come alongside BPL, Grand Bahama Power, the business community, the Bahamian people, and say, we have the expertise, we have the resources, we have the companies who are ready, willing, and able. We have a BIA application that we submitted to the Bahamas government. We've got 2 BPL bids that we participated on, 100% funding, no taxes, no loans, ownership for the Bahamian people. I know we don't have much time, but the macroeconomic impact and the data and information that support this is the right thing for the Bahamian people to do, because none of our competitors, in none of their proposals today that I am aware of, even talks about the possibility of exporting something that we produce in the Bahamas. Miss Malcolm, God has been so good to the Bahamian people, but we haven't maximized our potential yet, because some of our leaders, for whatever reason, are just in the wrong place. Because if they stifle their people, you know something, if leaders understand, if they allow their people to unleash their God-given gifts and talents and networks and contact, like we will share here. I mean, people say, well, why that multinational, multi-billion-dollar firm has chosen your company? You're not a reputable, well-known, high-priced law firm or bank or any of that. No, but I got a God that created this world. So if he could create this world, and I prayed and say, listen, God, we need this. The country need this. And he delivered. He always delivers. It may take some time. Don't give up. Be persistent. Don't give up. Be persistent. So this is more than just, as I said in the initial, more than just selling energy and power generation. This is a fitting tribute to the Bahamian people on our 50th year of independence, to really have viable, practical solutions that we can point to, that we could feel, that we could own, that we could touch, that we could pass on to our children's children. This is the beginning of some great things. We have a major announcement that we're hoping to be made as it relates to the shipping industry. That'll revolutionize the shipping industry.
So again, the event is this Friday.
Yes, this Friday.
Time and place.
Yes, the event again is, in conclusion, is Friday, March the 24th at Super Club Breezes from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's going to be lunch. There's going to be cocktails and hors d'oeuvres in between. And we got a whole host of speakers talking on everything you want to know about: renewable energy, funding, energy conservation, education, the effect of high cost of energy on the church, on business, on schools, on the operations of government, on our exports or expenditures. A whole host of things will be shared. And if you send an email to info@bestenergybahamas.com, for those, we can send out some of that information, and we'll be coming back to Ms. Malcolm's show and get a little bit more into the solutions with her, because time does not allow us to do it there. But countries around the world are using different parts of this solution, and we're using the Bahamas as a place to use all of these in one place to arrive the type of micro benefit we want to achieve as a country.
Did you say whether there's a cost?
Sorry, there's no cost for this event at this time.
Right.
So there's no cost for this event.
All right. Well, you heard it here on GPS. So for those of you who light bill over $5,000, you'll need to run to go send an email to info@.
And here's why they ought to do that. Because once we sit with them and we make a determination that they're a pilot or good candidate, we have arrangements with our suppliers, manufacturers, and partners to install the technology at no cost in their business, and we will share the savings. So they make no investment, and we share the savings. So that's part of the program that would benefit them as well.
That sounds like a good deal to me.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I appreciate your support, and I really hope that all goes well for you in your event on Friday. Those of you who are listening, you heard all the details here. You can't beat it. It's free. You know how to reach him. You know when the event is. We want you to take advantage of this if you can. Because it sounds like some very powerful information, no pun intended, is going to be shared at this event. Thank you again for being
Thank you
here.
very much. Appreciate it on behalf of WMS Holdings and Best Energy Bahamas and our team members, Mr. Massey and Cash and Ms. Fortune and Ms. McKinney. Thank you very much. And our shareholders and directors. Thank you very much.
All right. All the best. Okay, stay with us. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors, and we're going to dive into our Wellness Wednesday show.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim fence and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin, mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM page and the official Michelle Malcolm page. And you can reach us on the telephone 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. And the WhatsApp line for text messages and telephone calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. You can also catch us on Cable Bahamas Channel 974. Okay, now that our sponsored segment has been completed, let's turn our attention now to information with regard to your health and wellness. So you often hear me talk about nutritional deficiencies and how they are at the core of most non-communicable diseases. Well, this is true. But how do you know if you are dealing with a nutritional deficiency? Well, your body has a way of talking to you, and it tells you by way of symptoms that you may be suffering from a particular deficiency. But sometimes, if you don't know how to read those symptoms, then you may ignore them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at why nutritional deficiencies occur in the first place. And we're going to go ahead and play clip number 1 to explain that.
Today we're going to talk about the 23 different signs that your body is deficient in vital nutrients. Now, the problem with me teaching you this is you're going to pretty much evaluate everyone you know. So you're going to have to withhold that temptation, because people will be offended if you start explaining why they have these little white specks on their nails or why they might have erectile dysfunction. All right, now let me first just tell you the 3 reasons why people are deficient, okay? Number 1, their guts are damaged, so they can't absorb nutrition. So that's called malabsorption. It's a digestive barrier. Now, it could also be that you're missing a gallbladder or you're lacking bile, and you can't pull in the fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, and vitamin K. Or it could be you're not eating enough of the right foods, or the foods that you're eating are not nutrient dense, which is a big problem because the soils, unfortunately, are really, really poor quality. So if you're growing food on soil that's not soil, but it's actually dirt, you might get a really nice looking tomato, but it's going to be tasteless. Why? Because the flavor chemicals are tied in with the nutrient density. So we get these beautiful looking like vegetables that taste like nothing. And then you're going to be craving Doritos and wanting other spices to try to flavor them up, when in fact, they should normally come there with nutrition. So unfortunately, the farmers sell these products based on weight and volume, not nutrient-dense type foods. And then the third way that you become deficient is consuming refined foods and sugars that deplete you and rob you of nutrition.
Okay, so if you are a person who is going to be growing your own foods, I want to highly recommend that we have a really great product called Blooming Minerals, and what it does is it puts the minerals back into the soil. So whenever any food is grown from that soil, the food then has all of the minerals contained in it. And then I'm talking about the yield is so much bigger. The fruit is so much sweeter. It's amazing the difference that you will see once you put those minerals back into the soils. Because a part of the problem that we are experiencing is because of modern day farming techniques, because of storms and all the other challenges, our soils have been so depleted of nutrients that even if you're eating organic, you're not getting nutrient-rich foods. So now that we know that, let's look at some of these 23 symptoms or these 23 signs that your body is showing you that you may not even realize your body's way of telling you, hello, or as Medea would say, hello, I need some nutrients here. So the first is, sometimes you get that little white spot in the middle of your fingernails that seems to float up over time. That's a sign of a nutritional deficiency. Or oily skin. Yeah, oily skin. So in this video with Dr. Eric Berg, we're going to look at both nails, and that white spot in the middle of your nail, as well as oily skin, and he will tell you what those symptoms are telling you that your body needs.
Number one, white spots on your nail. What does that mean? That is a zinc deficiency, but it's not really a zinc deficiency. It is consuming too much sugar that robs you of zinc. So if you look at your nail and you see this little white speck about halfway down the nail, you know about 3 months ago, you had a lot of sugar or refined carbohydrate. Like, let's say you had this huge birthday party and you ate the whole cake. And that depleted zinc from your body, creating that little white speck. So you have two options. You can stop eating the sugar or you can take some zinc. All right, number two, oily skin. This is usually a problem with the oil glands of your body. It's called sebaceous glands that make something called sebum, which is a type of oil. And that usually occurs when you have an imbalance with androgens. You're producing too many androgens, which is the male hormone. And so one really key nutrient to regulate androgens is zinc, okay? So oily skin can be greatly improved if you start taking trace minerals, specifically zinc. Now, if you're female and you have too many androgens, you may have something called polycystic ovarian syndrome. And in that case, that's coming from too much insulin because the carbs are too high. And of course, the combination of that sugar depleting zinc, as well as lacking zinc and having an uncontrolled androgen situation. So with oily skin, you just need to take some zinc and you need to make sure that your sugar is not very high. So as you can see, zinc is involved with quite a few things.
Including your immune system. You know, everybody went goo goo gaga over zinc during the pandemic, right? Because, you know, they put it out there that zinc was a great way to fight off the virus. And so everybody was trying to get their hands on as much zinc as possible. Understand that many of these nutrients that we're talking about today are needed in micronutrient portions. What does that mean? Very, very small amounts. So there's a difference between macronutrients and micronutrients. Balance is key. So as opposed to you guys running out there and buying these nutrients that he's going to be mentioning individually, you ought to be trying to find a way, and obviously we are able to offer that to you, that you're getting the right amount of these nutrients and the right ratio and the right balance so that they can work the right way. Because many of these nutrients require each other to work effectively. So you could go run out and buy all the zinc you want, but if you don't have something else that may work along with the zinc or help the zinc to work properly, then you may not get as well a response as you want to get. So I'm discouraging you by saying this from going out there and just buying these micronutrients individually, because you need all 90 nutrients in the right amounts, the right ratio, the right balance, in order for these nutritional deficiency symptoms to go away. But it's important, I thought, to do this show because you're going to see some of these symptoms and in many cases ignore them, not realizing that that's your body's way of telling you that it needs specific nutrients. Now, we're going to be playing a lot of clips in this show today because there's a lot of information to share. I don't know that we will get through all of it by the time we're done at 4 o'clock because of the fact that we had that sponsored segment in the beginning, but we will get as far as we can in the show. And if need be, then we'll do a part 2, because it's really important that you understand what your body is trying to tell you. Remember, your body is like a really smart computer. It knows it needs these 90 essential nutrients. It already knows what it needs. And so when you don't get those 90 nutrients, a couple of things happen. You may get some cravings, or you may start to show these different signs that we're talking about today, 23 and all. And these aren't the only ones. These are just the ones that we're covering today. But they're very common signs that you may ignore, not realizing that that's your body's way of telling you something. And so that's why I thought it was important to do this particular show today, so that if you see these signs, then you won't ignore them. So, what's next on the list? Well, how many of you get this cracking in the corners of your mouth? You know, you get this like cracked corner of the mouth, or cracked heels, the heels of your feet. And no matter how many times you go and you get pedicures, within a short time, your heels are cracked again. How many of you out there can relate to that? Or how many of you out there have flaky skin? No matter whether it's winter, summer, spring, or fall, your skin is always flaking. And no matter how much lotion you put on it, it's within a couple minutes flaky again. Well, that's your body's way of telling you that you have some nutritional challenges. So let's take a look at this video to find out what your body needs when you start experiencing these signs and symptoms.
All right, number 3, cracking on the corners of your mouth right here, or cracked back of your heels, okay? So that is a vitamin B2 deficiency. It could also be a vitamin B3 deficiency, but it definitely involves the B vitamins. So the B vitamins are very, very important in preventing like these small fissures, okay, on your skin. And so if you have enough B2 or B3, you won't get them. Now, you see a lot of people in the winter that get these fissures in their skin, and that normally comes because they don't have enough vitamin D because they're not in the sun, and vitamin D feeds the microbes, and your microbes make the B vitamins. So that is a connection between cracked heels, cracked corners of your mouth, which I used to have as a kid, and it could be very easily handled by taking vitamin D or vitamin B2 in the form of nutritional yeast. All right, next one is flaking skin. A lot of times you'll see that around the nose or even the forehead, where the skin is kind of like a scaling, flakiness. That is a deficiency of omega-3 fatty acids. And that occurs because you're consuming too much omega-6 fatty acids. And so the essential fatty acids that our body needs, because the body doesn't make it, is both omega-3 and omega-6. So if your ratios are off because you're doing too much 6 and not enough 3, that's what happens with the skin. It becomes dry, flaky, white little flakes, usually around the nose or the forehead. So you need to do 2 things. You need to start cutting down the omega-6 fatty acids. That means reduce the amount of nuts or peanut butter or chicken or fried foods or going out to restaurants or fast food. All are very high in omega-6, like corn oil, soy oil, cottonseed oil. And you need to eat more fish, sardines, and cod liver oil. In fact, cod liver oil would be the quickest thing to handle this flaking skin.
Okay, so when I was growing up, my mom, God rest her soul, every morning, without fail, she used to make us drink a cup of Cersei. I hated that so much. And a tablespoon of cod liver oil. I used to think my mother hated me because she would make us drink this crappy, icky stuff. But I tell you one thing, we were healthy children. So I preach it all the time on this show. You want to avoid all oils in a bottle. Canola oil, olive oil, corn oil, vegetable oil, even coconut oil. All oils in a bottle, all oils in a container that has air in it needs to be avoided because it gets oxygen in it, and the oxygen turns the oil rancid, and the rancid oil, once it gets into your system, causes inflammation. And we know from last week's show, inflammation is the devil. Inflammation is very, very bad for the body. Apart from the natural part of inflammation that happens in the healing process, when that becomes systemic and lasts for a very long time, then you've got a major problem. So you're trying to eradicate chronic inflammation from the body. And one of the ways that you contribute to chronic inflammation is when you're consuming oils. Okay? All oils are bad. Even the ones that they tell you are healthy are bad because of the condition of the oil by the time that gets into your system. The oxidization process, I have explained this time and time again. The oxygen, the air has oxygen in it. The oxygen gets into the oil. It oxygenates, or, the oil, it causes it to turn rancid. And when that rancid oil gets in your system, it causes inflammation. It's as simple as that. So I know ain't no use I tell you all don't eat too much chicken. That's pointless. Because Bahamians would die if we had to give up our chicken. But at least you can find a different way to prepare it. You should not be frying your chicken. You should not be cooking your chicken in oil because of what I just explained. So air fry it, oven fry it, if you really, really must have fried chicken. And listen, I had some fried chicken last night, fried in the oven. You prepare it as you would any other preparation for fried chicken. So if you want to batter it, you use a gluten-free batter, and you shake that up in the gluten-free flour, and throw that in the oven on a very high heat. I do 450 degrees at 45 minutes. And my chicken was crunchy and delicious and fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed my oven fried chicken last evening. So there are ways that you can do these things the healthy way and still enjoy the foods that you love. But understand, if you're not doing that, then you're going to end up with the cracked heels and the cracking around the edges of your mouth and the flaky skin. Fish oils are the better way to go. And but we call them fish oils, but they're really fish fat. So like he would have said, wild caught salmon or sardines, etc., cod liver oil. Again, balance is key. So you need a balance between omega-3, 6, and longevity has in one capsule omega-3, 6, and 9 from sea sources. And so this is what will help to get your skin nice and moisturized. So you could be putting all the lotion in the world on the flaky skin, but if you're not getting the nutrients that your body needs, it will not make a difference. And understand, and this is important, that when you put that lotion on your skin, it's not just disappearing into thin air. That is, your skin is actually absorbing that, so that any chemicals or toxic, ingredients in that lotion is now getting into your bloodstream through your skin, and it's being taken to your liver, and it's your liver's job to get rid of it. But sometimes, if your liver is overworked or is not working properly for whatever reason, you will end up with this next sign that shows you that you have a problem going on. And this is jaundice. You know, when you get yellow eyes or your skin starts to turn yellow, this is a huge sign that your body is telling you that it desperately needs specific nutritional intervention. So here now is what to do if you or someone you know has jaundice.
Yellowed eyes, that is a jaundice situation. It's a liver problem. It could be a gallbladder problem where the byproducts of your red blood cells are backing up through the system, through the liver, and into the blood. And the byproduct of these red blood cells have a yellow color, okay? And so if your skin or your whites of your eyes are yellow, that is definitely a backup of the liver and the gallbladder. And that is usually a deficiency of bile salts, okay? So bile salts. Bile salts allow the flow of stuff through the liver and through the bile ducts. And if you don't have enough bile, this thickened cholesterol sludge tends to back up and you develop these white eyes. So a simple remedy would be to take some purified bile salts to open up this kind of clogged drain plug to allow the body to eliminate the byproduct of red blood cells.
All right, this is important because liver health is extremely important to your overall health. And if your liver is overworked or challenged in any way, you're going to have a rough time with your health. So don't take it lightly if you see someone that has yellow eyes or yellowed skin. Your body is screaming out, telling you that there's a problem and that you need to do what you need to do to fix that, because if you don't, that could become fatal. Okay? So don't ignore the yellow skin or the yellow eyes. That's a huge sign that you are nutritionally deficient, and in this case, you need bile salts. So you may be having a problem with your bile duct, but you need to definitely address that problem if you do have jaundice, because if it goes untreated, then your body will let you know, and you could actually have a very big problem on your hands. The numbers to call again are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages or phone calls is 8010271. Make sure you like and share the show and let everybody know that we're talking about an issue today that is very, very important for you to understand. If you're having these symptoms, these are not things that should be ignored, because this is your body's way of telling you that it needs something. It needs nutrition. And you shouldn't ignore it. You know, there are a lot of, and this is not a comprehensive list. 23 is a lot, but there are many others that didn't make this list that you need to pay close attention to. I'll give you one. Graying hair. If you have a head full of gray hair, or just starting to see the gray pop out, that's not, you'd say, oh, that's a normal part of aging. Well, if that's the case, how do you explain 14-year-olds with gray hair, or 20 or 30-year-olds with gray hair? And don't tell me, oh, it's that runs in my family. Well, there's more to it than that. If your hair is graying, that's a sign of a nutritional deficiency. It means that you're not getting sufficient copper in your diet. Now, before you all run out there and find some copper and start sucking on it, it don't work like that. Okay? It has to be formulated in the right way. And it has to be balanced with selenium, because the selenium helps the copper to work. Now, you may say, Michelle, I like my distinctive gray hair. Well, you might like it. You may think it's cute. But if you don't deal with that, it could end up with you having an aneurysm or some other acute neurological challenge. Think of somebody like Albert Einstein, head full of white hair. He died of an aneurysm. That graying hair is a sign of a copper deficiency. And if you don't get the adequate amounts of copper that your body needs, eventually you could end up down that road. So don't ignore it. You may think it's cute. If you think it's cute, go get some gray dye and put no, because then that has chemicals that's going to get into your system. But don't ignore gray hair. Don't ignore gray hair. That's a serious sign that your body is trying to give you that it needs something. All right, next. Do you have a chronic cough and you're not a smoker and you can't explain why you coughing all the time? That's your body's way of, listen, your body will communicate with you. You just have to understand the language. And a lot of times we see these signs and symptoms and we completely ignore them, either from a lack of knowledge or we just, brush it off. We don't realize how serious it is. And then later on down the road, when we develop some serious problem, we say, oh, this thing just spring up on me. No, that's been developing for a little while and your body was trying to warn you, but you didn't heed the warnings. So today, we're giving you information so that you can heed the warnings. So, if you're coughing all the time, can't stop coughing, and you don't have any reason to be coughing like that. You don't have the cold, you don't have the flu, but you can't stop coughing. Your body's talking to you. Or, how many of you have bleeding gums or inflamed gums? Red, inflamed gums. Every time you brush your teeth, you're spitting out blood. That's a serious sign, people. very, very serious sign that you have a nutritional deficiency problem. So, in this clip, Dr. Eric Berg talks about what your body needs if you are suffering from a chronic cough or gum issues.
All right, number 6, chronic cough. If someone has a chronic cough, they usually have a calcium deficiency. So a little calcium, especially at night, works like magic for these chronic coughs. Calcium both improves the immune system, but it also relaxes the throat and the larynx, just like you might want to take for cramping in your calves. So basically it helps something called laryngeal spasm, or this tightness in the structures of your throat. Okay, so you might want to try that. The type of calcium I would recommend is calcium lactate, okay, not calcium carbonate. And you don't need much, maybe 200 milligrams before you go to bed. All right, number 7, bleeding gums or reddened, swollen gums, okay, in your mouth. That is a classic vitamin C deficiency. Another term would be subclinical vitamin C, or a very mild version of scurvy, okay? Now, in the vitamin C complex, we have different parts. And one part is vitamin P, which is the bioflavonoids. And they don't call it vitamin P anymore. That was an older term. But that P stood for permeability or vascular permeability. So in other words, the blood that goes through the capillaries leaks, okay? And if it leaks, you get all sorts of issues, and one being bleeding gums. And you can also get nosebleeds as well, but bleeding gums or reddened gums is classic vitamin C deficiency. So you need to consume more leafy greens as well as avoid sugar, because the chemistry of sugar is almost identical to vitamin C. And if the body has sugar, any vitamin C that you're getting from foods or a supplement will not go in. The body will always take up glucose or sugar before vitamin C.
And sugar imbalances, by the way, are very, very detrimental to your health and can show up in many ways. You may not be diabetic or even pre-diabetic, but you may have a sugar imbalance and not be aware of it. So one of the ways, for instance, that an imbalance in your sugar levels may show up is elevated cholesterol and triglycerides. That could be related to a blood sugar imbalance. Or, for instance, if you have fungus in your toenails, there's a strong possibility that you have a blood sugar imbalance, because that fungus is feeding on the sugar. And so it's important that you get your blood sugar levels balanced out. It's not to say that you have to be a diabetic or a pre-diabetic to have that problem. But if you're seeing these little signs, that could be your body's way of telling you that you have a blood sugar imbalance. If you are constantly craving for something sweet, or if you have to have dessert after a meal, or you got like what we call in the Bahamas a sweet tooth, then that's a good sign that you have a blood sugar imbalance. And again, imagine that your body knows what it needs. It's looking for the nutrition that it needs. And will find it by sending you to go and eat something that it thinks that it will get it from. And so if you are craving sweets all the time, that's your body's way of telling you that there is a nutritional deficiency problem, that you have a blood sugar balance problem or a blood sugar imbalance. And you would want to balance that out so that you give your body what it needs. Oftentimes, I come across a client who has a blood sugar imbalance, and they tell me, Miss Malcolm, I have to have something sweet after my meals. And I said, well, your body's crying out for nutrition. You give your body what it needs and it will stop. And it always amazes me how after we get them on the right nutrition and they come back a couple of weeks later and they say, I really don't have the cravings anymore. I said, I told you. That was just your body's way of telling you that it needs something. So This is important to understand. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about more of the symptoms of um, nutritional deficiencies that your body is telling you it needs something. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
At Lee Air, safety is our number one priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here in your company on this Wellness Wednesday. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. You can call us at 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, or the WhatsApp line, which is 8010271, 8010271. And you can also call us on that number or send a text. And of course, we are also airing on Cable Bahamas Channel 974. So if you haven't already done so, like and share the show. Let everybody know that GPS is on the air with this Wellness Wednesday show. We're talking a very important, covering a very important topic today, and that is the signs and symptoms that your body gives you when it is suffering through a nutritional deficiency. And this is very, very important because these things, many of them, we are ignoring, not realizing that this is your body's way of talking to you and telling you, you got to pay attention to this. So I want you to like and share the show and let everybody know. Listen, man, you need to listen to this because you may be dealing with some stuff and not even realize that you're dealing with it. Your body is an incredibly intelligent healing machine, but it needs the building blocks of nutrition to do its job. What is that nutrition? 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. This is what everybody needs every single day. This is just the gasoline for the car. And when we don't give it to the body begins to break down or degenerate. And this is what we call disease. We have a comment we want to read. Let's go ahead and get that comment up on the screen, Jason. This one says, do you have anything that treats tremors, that causes hands and head to shake? Well, the first thing that we would do is to determine what caused the tremors. That's obviously a neurological situation. So as opposed to just throwing products at people, what we do is we have a very individualized approach where we have you complete a health assessment by way of a survey that you take online. And once you do that, it helps us to pinpoint the cause of those tremors. And we look to fix that. And once we fix that, then the tremors go away. That is our approach to determining what could be causing something. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's something that we can deal with. But again, we don't just throw products at people by you telling me, "Oh, I have this problem. What should I take?" No. That's not how we operate. We try to find the bottom line. We try to find ground zero. What caused the problem to begin with. And once we identify that, then we know what we need to do next. So this next symptom or set of symptoms, I want you to know has nothing to do with age and everything to do with nutrition. How many of you are driving at night and you have a real hard time seeing? You have challenges with night vision to the degree that some of you have become afraid to drive at night because of your eyesight challenges. You're like, I don't know, I don't drive after dark because my night vision is a little challenged. So I like to be home before dark. That's a nutritional deficiency. When you can't see distances, especially at night, that's a nutritional deficiency. I'll tell you this, it has nothing to do with age. I'll tell you a funny story. I remember when I was in college, they had a health fair one day, and they had all of these different healthcare practitioners come out, and they were offering like blood tests and all this kind of stuff, and they had somebody there doing eye exams. So I went to have my eyes examined, and how they have those letters on the wall, and you have to read down as far as you can to see, what your vision looks like. Now, close up, I didn't have any issues, but I didn't realize that I had an issue with distance until I took that test. So I'm reading, they cover one eye, and they tell you to read, as far as you can see, and I'm reading with confidence, thinking I'm doing such a good job, and I see these people looking at me kind of strange. So I said to myself, boy, I must be killing this test. The way everybody looking at me is supposed to say, boy, this guy got some good eyesight. So when I finally finished the test, remember now, I was in college. So I was very young. The young lady looks at me and she says, "Do you wear glasses?" I said, "No, I don't." With a smile on my face, she said, "Maybe you ought to consider getting some." Because I had done so poorly on that distance test that they were all looking at me like, "Whoa, this girl got a problem." And until that experience, I didn't even know I had a problem. And at that time, I went out and I started wearing contact lenses. And I was shocked the first time I drove at night wearing those contact lenses to see what I was not seeing. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I was missing all of this. I was in my 20s, early 20s. So it really has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with nutritional deficiencies. Now, since then, my night vision has improved tremendously ever since I started on the longevity program. I'm amazed at how much better I see at night now, because my body is getting the nutrition that it needs. So in this video, Dr. Berg talks about the signs of night vision problems and another one that people take for granted, chapped lips. Yeah, your body's talking to you. Here's that video.
Number 8, night vision issues. So let's say you can't see in the dark, or you're driving when it's raining and you're just having a hard time, seeing clear. That is a classic vitamin A deficiency or night blindness. Now, are people usually deficient in vitamin A? Well, around the world they are. So there's a lot of people that have a vitamin A deficiency simply because they're eating a lot of cereals and refined grains. And they may even be eating plant sources of vitamin A, but those are precursors, like beta-carotene, for example. They call it vitamin A, but it's not the active form of vitamin A called retinol. Retinol usually comes from animal products like dairy or butter or fish, fatty fish, definitely cod liver oil, and animal liver like beef liver, for example, has a lot of vitamin A. And so if you're trying to get your vitamin A from plants, it's going to be very hard for you to convert that into the active form of vitamin A, which is retinol. But a really good source of retinol would be egg yolks. Okay, so if you want to have enough retinol, just eat some egg yolks and you will definitely get enough, and then you'll start seeing better. The other thing to look at with vitamin A is your ability to absorb it, because maybe you don't have enough bile, or maybe your gallbladder is removed, or you have some liver issue because it's like fatty, for example. Then you can't absorb vitamin A, because vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin. Could be one cause. All right, next one is chapped lips. The cause of chapped lips is the same cause as cracking in the corners of the mouth or on the heels. It's a vitamin B2 deficiency. And so what would create a B2 deficiency? It's either you're consuming too many refined grains that are depleting B2, because naturally the B vitamins, especially B2, are normally in grains, but basically when you refine them, they get lost. So one really good thing would be to stop eating grains, any grains. And the second thing you want to do is start taking nutritional yeast. With nutritional yeast, I would always get it unfortified. You'll get a complete spectrum of the B vitamins, and you'll notice your skin much, much better. I mean, if you take a look at some of the B vitamin deficiencies, like real severe deficiencies, you get conditions like pellagra. And with pellagra, you have devastating effects on your skin, because the B vitamins are not just about giving you energy. They're about helping you form normal tissue. So it's not too roughened or cracked. It's nice and soft. A lot of times people will start using chapstick or certain type of lotions or oils on their lips, but what they find is that maybe an hour later, it's right back, if not worse, to being chapped, because sometimes they put other ingredients into these products, like they might put alcohol or mineral oil, which pulls out a lot of the key nutrients or fats that you need to keep your skin the right texture.
So you don't want to just continuously cover up the problem. Like he mentioned, you keep putting on chapstick or whatever on your lips and your lips keep turning back. That is equivalent to, we often give the example of you go out and you buy a plant, and the plant, you don't give it what it needs to survive, and the plant starts to die because you're not exposing it to any sunlight, you're not watering it, etc. And then you go out and you buy green paint and you paint over the brown leaves, and then you stand back and you admire your work and say, wow, look at my healthy plant. Well, by putting the chapstick on your lips, you're pretty much just painting that dying plant green. It may look better temporarily, but underneath that green paint, that plant continues to die. So my point is, you could put all the chapstick on your lip if you want to, all the lotion on your hands if you want to, etc. But the problem will not go away if you don't address it at the root cause, which is nutritional deficiencies. Now, I see a couple of you asking about the link where you can take the health evaluation. If you're watching on Facebook, then it's right there at the top of the Facebook page. I have it pinned to the top of the page where you can go and click onto that link, and that will lead you to where you can fill out the health evaluation online. We recommend that you do not follow the computer-generated recommendations at the end, because that's just a computer looking at numbers, whereas if you sit and chat with an actual person, they can ask questions that the computer may have missed to get to the bottom of what may be your challenge, because you may be having a challenge because of external toxins, and the computer may miss that. So it's always good to talk to a person. All right, so today, in case you tuned in late, we're talking about 23 signs that your body is malnourished, that you need specific nutrition, and what that nutrition is when you see these signs and symptoms. So the next one we're going to look at is edema. That is this huge swelling of your feet and ankles to the point where if you touch it, it leaves like a dimple. That obviously is not just an aesthetic problem, but if untreated, it could lead to very serious health challenges. And again, that stems from a nutritional deficiency. Now, here's another one that you or someone you know may be doing quite a bit and you don't understand why. Ice craving, where you're craving ice. I know people, oftentimes it's pregnant women, who want to be chewing on ice. And there's a reason for that, because their bodies, now, pregnant women especially, that baby is going to get what it needs. Whether you're taking the nutrition or not, it's going to get what it needs. So if you have a limited amount of nutrition in your body, it's going to suck that nutrition from your body. If you're not supplementing, God, be with you. But that baby can get what it needs. And so you will find yourself craving you want to chew up ice. Why is that? Well, here now is a video about edema and ice craving and what your body is trying to tell you.
All right, next one is the pitting edema on the top of your foot or your ankles. This is a deficiency of potassium, okay? When you don't have enough potassium, or the ratios of potassium versus sodium, like sodium's way too high and potassium is way too low. And by the way, refined sugar causes you to retain sodium and deplete potassium. That's why diabetics many times have so much sugar in their blood that they get a lot of swelling, especially in the ankles and the feet. And if you push your finger into the foot or the ankle, it leaves a dent, okay? Now, believe it or not, when I had blood sugar issues a long ago in my mid-30s, I used to have pitting edema, and I didn't even know what it was. I would press into my ankle. I'm like, what is that dent? That was a severe potassium deficiency. So you want to start eating foods high in potassium, okay? And that would be any of the leafy greens, but you need volumes. You need large salads, things like that. That will give you enough potassium. Versus consuming more salt, okay? Salt's okay as long as you have enough potassium. Or you might want to get a quality electrolyte with a lot of potassium, but that will push fluid out of the ankles very, very quickly. Now, next one is craving ice, okay? If you're craving ice, chances are you're deficient in iron, okay? You see this with kids, Sometimes you see this with females who are going through their menstruation, where they're losing blood and iron and they're becoming anemic. They start eating more ice. They're trying to get iron, but unfortunately, ice doesn't give you iron, so you end up still deficient. The best sources of the iron that you need is red meat. You can get it from liver, you can get it from eggs, and for some reason, if you can't eat any of those products, you can also get them in a supplement, but not an iron supplement. I would recommend a supplement that is either a grass-fed liver extract, or, believe it or not, there are spleen extract products that are loaded with iron, okay? So that's one way to get it.
Okay, so I often talk about the importance of the way supplements are formulated. Okay, it's got to be in a way that your body can assimilate it, can break it down, can absorb it. And so this is why oftentimes when a person is anemic and they prescribe those big horse iron tablets, the only thing they do pretty much is make you constipated. But oftentimes you don't get the results that you should be getting. And it's because that iron is formulated in a way that it is not absorbable by the body. So the key is to not just take these nutrients, but take them in their right formula. And this is why oftentimes people are buying over-the-counter supplements and not getting the results that they're looking for. And then they turn around and they say, oh, vitamins don't work. Well, it's not that. It's just that you're taking the wrong kind, because not all are created equal. So if you're taking supplements that have not been derived from sources that you are able to absorb, like plant-derived, for instance, then you're not going to get anything out of it, and you won't be getting any better. So it's really important that you understand that you take the right type of vitamins that were formulated in such a way that it has a very high ORAC point. ORAC meaning that's a way of measuring the absorbability rate of the vitamins that you're taking. And some of these over-the-counter vitamins have little to none absorbability. I'm talking as little as 2 to 5%. If you're lucky, 8 to 10, and that's it. So even though the bottle may say you're getting 1,000 milligrams, you may only be getting 10% of that if you're lucky, or 5% of that, because your body just can't absorb it. So you're looking for supplements that are absorbable, that have a very high ORAC rate, that you know that you're getting what you're getting. Okay, otherwise you're just throwing money down the drain. So that's really important to understand. Let's do one more, and then we'll take another break. Okay, so the next one on the list, and this is a big one, people: chest pain. Chest pain or leg cramps. You do not want to ignore chest pain. It could be a heart attack about to happen. It could be some kind of issue with your cardiovascular system. Again, your body is just talking to you and telling you to stop ignoring me. Listen to me when I talk to you. Listen to me when I send you these messages. You know what amazes me with human beings is strange, If we hear, typically speaking, if we hear some kind of strange rattling in our vehicle, we quick fast call the mechanic and say, something weird is going on with my vehicle. I need you to come look at this. So you take it to the mechanic shop quick fast. Now, some people don't check for it, and then the vehicle breaks down, and that's another story. But for the most part, if you hear something rattling, or if some kind of check engine light comes on in the dashboard or whatever, you quick fast take that to the mechanic. Our bodies are constantly sending us warning signals, flashing lights on the dashboard, rattling, making noise, whatever. I'm just, painting a picture for you. But we ignore it because we don't want to go to the doctor, or we don't want to hear what the doctor have to say and all this kind of stuff. So as opposed to dealing with the problem, facing it head on, we choose to ignore it. Well, chest pains or leg cramps is something, or are some things that you should not be ignoring. So here now, that would be clip number 8, Jason, is what causes chest pain and leg cramps, and your body's way of telling you what it needs.
All right, next one is angina. That's chest pain. So that is where the heart is cramping and your heart is having an attack, and usually it's referred down the left arm. That is a classic vitamin E deficiency. There's 2 things you need to know about vitamin E. What creates a deficiency usually is refined grains, okay? As in the breads, the pasta, the cereal, the crackers, the biscuits. When you consume those products that normally have a good amount of vitamin E in it, but when they add chlorine to bleach it, they oxidize it and they kill all the vitamin E. When it sits on the shelf, all that vitamin E is lost, and then when you consume those products, it creates a vitamin E deficiency. The most important tissue for vitamin E is the inside of your arteries, and if you don't have enough vitamin E, you get a lot of rusting and oxidation, and you start getting clots, the formation of calcium, and all sorts of things that come in there. So vitamin E is very, very important. And so the best way to prevent a vitamin E deficiency is to stop doing the refined grains. And if you want a very good vitamin E, I would get the type that's a tocotrienol, not a tocopherol. The tocotrienols work about 50 times stronger than the tocopherols. And so it really is great for angina type chest pain. All right, number 13, leg or calf cramps. That is a magnesium deficiency, okay? Where do you get magnesium? Well, it's at the heart of chlorophyll. Where do you get chlorophyll? From green plants, okay? So again, we're coming back to that salad where you get good amount of magnesium. There's also potassium in there, chlorophyll, other things. But when you get leg cramps, chances are you're probably missing magnesium. You need more, and they usually go away. There's other deficiencies that might lead to cramps, like potassium, even sodium, vitamin B1, and I've done videos on that, but the most common one is the magnesium deficiency.
Remember now, the magnesium is what relaxes things. So calcium and magnesium work hand in hand. Calcium is what allows things to constrict, so I need calcium to form these fists. Magnesium is what relaxes things, so I need magnesium to be able to relax my hands. So if you're cramping, that's a good sign, like he said, that you need more magnesium, but the magnesium and the calcium work hand in hand together. All right, we're going to take a break, final break of the show. When we come back, we have quite a few more to go through, but hopefully we'll get through it all. We're talking about things like asthma. How many of you are dealing with asthma? Your children has asthma. We're talking things like nightmares, depression, back pain, erectile dysfunction. Yeah, fellas, I got something for you all in there too. All of that and more on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Wellness Wednesday. We are looking at 23 signs that your body is suffering from nutrient deficiency. Now, we only have a couple of minutes left in the show, so we're going to try to get these last 3 videos in. Hopefully, we will be able to. So, the next 3 symptoms that I'm going to share with you today are irritation. When you find somebody who is irritated all the time, just kind of miserable. Yeah, we all know one of them. Don't look in the mirror because it might be you. But if you have somebody who is dealing with irritability, or a child or yourself who has chronic asthma attacks. Or another one is if you are losing the outside of your eyebrows. This is all based on nutrition. Again, in this video with Dr. Eric Berg, we're going to reveal what your body is telling you in terms of what specific nutrition it needs if you're suffering from irritability, asthma attacks, or you're losing your eyebrows.
Irritability, excessive thinking, feeling nervous tension, even grouchy or angry is a B1 deficiency. If you take a little nutritional yeast, if you're irritable, boy, it just chills you out. You'll feel really calm. You'll be nice to be around. People will like you a lot better. Also, before you go to bed, if you have excessive thinking, just take some nutritional yeast before you go to bed, and that you can get it in tablets as well. I'll put a link down below for more information. But you talk about turning off that excessive mind, thinking, solving all the problems of the world, which prevents you from sleep. It's really nice to be able to go to bed and not have to solve a million problems, so you can drift off and sleep. All right, 15, asthma. Asthma is a situation where you have inflammation in the lungs, and this can be greatly improved with vitamin D. So if you're deficient in vitamin D, which most asthmatics are, boy, that can just reduce inflammation and help you breathe. This is why during the summer months, when kids that have asthma, they're outside, they're exposed to the sun, their symptoms go away. There's a very, very important video on a breathing method that can help asthma. I'll put that down below if you haven't seen it. But there's a really important way of breathing to pull someone out of an asthmatic attack, within minutes. So you can check that out. 16, loss of the outer eyebrows, okay? This is usually a thyroid problem or an iodine deficiency situation where they're not able to make the thyroid hormones, because when you get to like T4, T3, you're really looking at the number of iodine molecules in that thyroid hormone. T4 is an inactive thyroid hormone. T3 is the active form because the body strips off an iodine molecule. So if you don't have enough of either T4 or T3, then you could potentially lose the outer eyebrows as one of the symptoms. So if you don't have eyebrows or you don't have the outside, just take some iodine in the form of sea kelp. That's one of the best sources.
Iodine is amazing because iodine also regulates sleep. So, and obviously it impacts your thyroid health as well. So as you guys may know, I'm in the process of healing my thyroid naturally. I decided to take myself off of the synthetic drugs that I've been on for so many years and practice what I preach and heal myself, by natural means. And so that meant that I incorporate more iodine into my diet. And Longevity has this really great iodine product that you spray into the mouth at night before going to bed. And they recommend that you do 2 sprays. So one night I decided I would do 3 sprays. And let me tell you, that thing knocked me out. When I woke up the following day, I was like, oh my God, I slept for an entire 8 hours, which is unusual for me. And I couldn't believe what a good quality of sleep that I got as a result of getting that little bit of extra iodine into my system. So iodine is also very good for regulating sleep patterns. Now, there may be some external forces that are causing you to not be able to calm down at night, or to calm the mind down sufficient to sleep well. If you are constantly on your smartphone right before you go to bed, or if you're trying to charge your smartphone in the same room where you're sleeping at night, then you're not going to be able to sleep through the night because the radiation that's being emitted from your smartphone will disrupt your sleep patterns. But apart from that, your cell phone, your laptop emit what is called blue light. And when your brain sees that blue light, it interprets that it's daytime. So it makes it very difficult for you to fall asleep because, as far as your brain is concerned, I see blue light, so it must be daytime. So give yourself at least 30 minutes in between using that smart device and when you're trying to sleep. Okay? And that'll help to calm you down a little better. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're getting adequate amounts of nutrition to deal with the problem of irritability or asthma. Get more EFAs in your diet as well. If you are suffering from asthma, omega-3, 6, and 9 will help tremendously to minimize asthma symptoms. Okay, next. Your right trap, that's the area sort of to the back of your neck from, say, the base of the skull all the way down to the shoulder area. This is called the right trap. If you have some stiffness in your right trap, or if you're suffering from nightmares, or if you're craving salt at night, salty foods, your body's trying to tell you something. And here's what it's saying to you.
Irritability, excessive thinking, feeling nervous tension, even tightness in the right trap area right through here, okay? All the way through here. If you have tightness right there, suspect gallbladder and suspect a lack of bile salts. If you don't have enough bile salts, things get all kind of stuck underneath the right rib cage. There's a little nerve called the phrenic nerve that goes right up to the right side. And so if you take purified bile salts, that thins the bile, allows the drainage, okay? And all of a sudden your right trap feels loose and it feels better. It's backing up into the system, showing up in your right trap. 18, nightmares. One of the best ways to get rid of a nightmare is to take B1, nutritional yeast. There's this little thing in the brain called the amygdala, which regulates the emotion of fear. Okay, so it's involved in this fear response. And so, of course, nightmares involve fear. And its function is very, very similar to what the adrenals are all about, which is like a stress gland, but it's mainly involving that emotion of fear. And there's receptors for thiamine. And if you take more B1, thiamine, boy, does that just chill a person out and they feel better and they don't have nightmares anymore. So if your kids have nightmares, give them a little nutritional yeast. But the real question is, why are they deficient? Because they're consuming refined carbohydrates in the form of all the refined grains, the breads, the pasta, the cereal, the crackers, those things, as well as sugar. So you need to handle that as well. 19, craving for salty chips at night. If your body is deficient in sodium, okay, you're going to crave salt. But if you're exercising a lot and sweating, the need for sodium goes up. And so one of the symptoms or signs of a salt deficiency or a sodium deficiency is craving for salt, okay? So if you're craving for salt at night in the form of chips, the next day I would start to increase the amount of sea salt, not sodium chloride, in your diet, okay? So start beefing that up, putting on your food, maybe even putting some in some water and drinking that. Where you get to the point at night, you no longer crave salty chips, okay? Then we know you have enough. And so for years, I had this false idea that salt was bad and I rarely consumed salt. So I always ate foods lacking salt, lacking fat. Of course, at night, I was downing all these chips and salty popcorn and salty Doritos. But during the day, I was pretty much salt-free. So I had no concept of nutrition or this whole idea that salt was not bad if it was in the form of sea salt and if I had enough potassium, okay? I didn't know that at the time. But if you're craving salty chips at night, you need to balance out your electrolytes by adding more sea salt and make sure you have enough potassium as well. But you will find those cravings will go away.
So we've been blessed here in the Bahamas with sea salt. Inagua, rich in salt, Mayaguana, so many of the islands in the south. All we got around here is sea salt. And so there's no excuse. I mean, we have been blessed that we have an abundance of sea salt in this country. Matter of fact, we supply sea salt to the rest of the world, and then they turn around and sell it back to us, but that's another story. But yeah, I only consume sea salt because guess what? Sea salt, that's where you get your minerals. There are minerals in that salt, okay? And so if you're not getting sufficient, then you will crave salty foods. So very, very important that you get adequate amounts. Okay, last one. And I apologize for putting so many videos in such a short amount of time, but normally we would have had a full 2 hours. But because of our guest today, our sponsored guest, that took away about half an hour of the show. So I've had to squeeze all of this information into a short amount of time. So I apologize for that. But I hope you see the value in getting this information. Final video. And this one is if you have lower back pain, if you are craving dirt, sometimes little children like to eat dirt. Fellas, if you're having a problem getting it up, erectile dysfunction, or if you're suffering from depression, all of that could be your body's way of saying, I need nutrients. Let's take a look.
Stiff low back or low back pain is usually a vitamin D deficiency, especially if it's in the winter. And all you need to do is take some good amount of vitamin D, or you can even make your own vitamin D. I'll put that link down below if you haven't seen my recent video. But vitamin D is one of the best things to get rid of inflammation fast anywhere in the body, especially in the lower back. I would recommend taking at least 10,000 international units per day. And it might be beneficial to take it right before bed or at a meal. Because if you take it right before bed, it actually enhances your sleep. And if you take it with meals, it's better absorbed. You're craving dirt. Okay, now, normally most people don't crave dirt, but sometimes kids crave dirt, okay, or even women that are menstruating, losing blood, anemic, are craving dirt. What they're trying to get is iron. Even if your animals, like even your dog, starts eating dirt, they need iron, okay? And the best source of iron is red meat. It gives you the best form of iron that's bioavailable versus consuming spinach, things like that. So if you have anemia or you need iron, red meat would be the best thing to take, or some liver with onions, of course. All right, number 22, erectile dysfunction. That's low testosterone. That is a deficiency of zinc. Zinc is one of the best things to increase testosterone and handle this symptom. And lastly, 23, depression. If someone's depressed, they're usually vitamin D deficient. Vitamin D greatly boosts serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter. And so it's like a natural form of Prozac. without the side effects. So if you're depressed or know someone that's depressed, boy, just give them a little vitamin D and just see how fast their mood elevates. Another thing to try, as a side note, is to start to do more fasting. That really elevates the mood as well.
Okay, so remember, you don't have to go out now with your land papers on this long list of all these nutrients that he said you need to take for all these different conditions and buy them individually. That will cost you a lot of money. And you would have to make sure that you're getting it in the right formula so that you're actually benefiting from it. We have taken all of that work away from you. So through our program, you can get the 90 essential nutrients you need in the measured balanced ratio, right? In 3 products. We have something called Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That's where you get your, it's a vitamin mineral complex. We have something called Beyond OsteoFX. That's where you get mostly your calcium and your magnesium and some potassium and some glucosamine. And then we've got your essential fatty acids 3, 6, and 9. Those 3 products give you the 90 nutrients in the measured amounts that your body needs, the measured ratio that your body needs. And we often say, give us 90 days on 90 nutrients, and we can get rid of 90% of your problems. All your body needs is nutrition, people. Your body crying out for it. Crying out for it. And when you give your body the nutrition it needs, you will see miraculous things happen. I've seen people regrow cartilage. I've seen people come off of dialysis and have kidney surgeries canceled, even though the doctors were left flabbergasted, because as far as their training is concerned, that's not supposed to be able to happen. I have seen people's high blood pressure normal within weeks after being on medication for years. I have seen people come off of insulin after just a short while of giving their body what it needs nutritionally. There are so many things that you can do that your body will heal. Let me just say this, and then I got to go. I believe in the ultimate power of God to heal, but I believe that there are 2 ways. He can either instantly heal you. The word of God says, beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So God is definitely still in the healing business. But for many of us, he heals us through process. And a major part of that process is nutrients. And as certified holistic health coaches, we are here to help you along the process of healing. So go ahead, go to the top of my Facebook page, click on the link, fill out that health evaluation. Once I get the results, I'll reach out to you, and then we begin you the process of healing. That's my time. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to have another eye-opening show tomorrow. Don't you miss it. We going deep. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thanks so much for joining me. As always, have a good afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM.